Yo, 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 this is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. Yeah, this Team Skull Grunt. And guys, in this video, we discuss Jacq and Farigiraf, which, in case you don't know, is Farigiraf in reverse. Ha, bet you did not know that. Sus! Anyway, guys, this is the second sync pair of this April 2024 Datamine. And if you haven't seen it yet, I discuss all the sync pairs in these updates. In my 1 out of 5 or not out of 5 video, I discuss each one in brief, just getting one copy. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna discuss, this Pokefair's entire kit. And as you might know, Pokefair's max out at 5 copies. So if you want to unlock his full potential, then you have to whale or use your candies on this particular sync pair. This is a psychic type tech sync pair. And we have had a very, very recent psychic type tech sync pair rerun in the form of Signasuit Steven. Well, we're gonna discuss if he is better than Signasuit Steven or not right now, and is he better than the psychic types that we have? Because we have had a lot of psychic types. We have had Signasuit Luzamin rerun with an EX roll. We have many other psychic types. We have Lucian, who has a Girafarig, which is Farigiraf's pre-evolution. And if you guys did not know, Girafarig is in reverse. Sass. Anyway, this is the timeline. And if you haven't seen it, so he comes out on March 31. That's Easter Sunday. If you live in the East, like me, if you're in the West, then he comes out Saturday evening. And the banner lasts only until April 17. You have until 17 to scout. April 18, he will be gone for good, until he comes back in a select scout or some other rerun banner. But yeah, that's about it. This is a limited time sync pair, just like all the other 3 sync pairs you can see in this list. They are limited time sync pairs. But this is a Pokefair. Volo is a Pokefair. Pokefairs, you have a 10% chance of getting a random 5-star. I question why the Pokefairs have a shorter scout period than the less worthy costume scouts. But anyway, he has an EX role of support. And I often say that I'm not a fan of support sync pairs getting the tech EX role. Because support sync pairs, only a tiny bit of support sync pairs get a multiplier built into their grid or to their sync grid, their kit. But tech sync pairs normally have an innate multiplier for their sync move, plus they have multipliers in their sync grid, so the support EX role just buffs them up. So I'm not complaining about tech sync pairs getting support EX roles, but I am complaining support EX roles getting tech EX, support sync pairs getting tech EX roles. So keep that in mind. And as a support sync pair, once you use your sync move for the very first time using him, not only do you hit the opponent with 1.5 times multiplier with your tech EX or tech roll, but you also give yourself a double sync buff, meaning that your succeeding attacks until the end of the battle will get much stronger. So let's take a look at his kit right now. I'd like to thank Absolutely Lost Mode and the Third Awakening once again for making these infographics, because I do not have time. And frankly speaking, I'm kind of lazy right now because I'm packing up for our trip tomorrow and I haven't gotten decent sleep yet since the Datamine came out. So I'm gonna sleep after this video. I'm looking forward to it. So stats-wise, high HP stats, 742 at level 150, 842 at 6-star EX, and 902 with an EX roll upgrade. That's nice. In terms of special attack, that's also very high, 492, non-EX'd. And if you 6-star EX him, that's 532 special attack stat. Defenses, pretty high if you have him EX rolled, but that's about the stats. And this is also a Paldea Sync pair. So if you want to complete your roster of Paldea Sync pairs, then definitely go for this one. Jacq's Lesson is his first passive skill. This is interesting. Every single time you attack an opponent, you get to reduce 1 MP for your Lumberry. Now, Twin Beam hits twice. And I am not sure, but I am confident about my guess, which is every single time you hit the opponent using Twin Beam, first time you reduce 1 Lumberry, raise your special attack plus special defense plus 2. For Jacq's Lesson, that's what it does. Then, your second attack for Twin Beam will use another Lumberry to raise your special attack and special defense by another plus 2. So by using Twin Beam once, you get to raise your special attack stat plus 4, and you get to raise your special defense plus 4. But I might be wrong. It's maybe just plus 2, but I'm pretty sure it's plus 4. So at the start, just 1 Twin Beam, you raise your stats plus 8. And then, once you use your sync move, every single time you use your sync move, you have sync move restore berry MP3. So your Lumberry will automatically replenish itself by using your sync move. And then, there's a third passive skill, strike stat up to 9. Whenever you are able to attack an opponent, every single time you damage one opponent, you get to raise a random stat plus 2. So Twin Beam again hits the opponent twice. You get to raise a stat plus 4 or 2 stats plus 2 for both those stats. So let's count it. Twin Beam. First attack of Twin Beam. Jacq's Lesson. Special attack plus 2, special defense plus 2, strike stat up to random stat plus 2. That's 6 stat rank ups for the first attack of Twin Beam. Second Twin Beam hits, special attack plus another 2, special defense plus another 2, a random stat plus another 2. So your stats go up plus 12, or if a duplicate stat goes up, then less stat raises. But normally, you should raise your stats plus 12 with 1 use of Twin Beam. Now, what do you want to do with those raised stats? Well, you can either use your sync move. The higher your stats are, the stronger the damage of your sync move. I think that caps at 18. If I'm not mistaken, that's 18. If I'm mistaken, that's 21. But I think it's only 18. So as long as you have 18 stat buffs, you get to maximize maximum damage for your sync move multiplier. That's Rising Tide built in. Now, you can also use your buddy move. And this buddy move basically unlocks when you have plus 10 or higher stat ranks. And it will lock itself again once you have less than 10 stat buffs. So 9 or lower, it will lock itself. Now, why will it lock itself again? Why? Don't you normally keep the stat buffs? Well, unfortunately, guys, you cannot use experimental stored power in a row because every single time you hit the opponent using experimental stored power, your stat buffs go down back to 0. Your stat decreases stay there if you have your defense, if the opponent keeps using Leer against you or uses Rock Tomb to lower your speed stat, you keep the stat decreases, only the stat increases go back to 0. So, once you use experimental stored power, your stats go down to 0. And then, because you hit the opponent once using experimental stored power, that strike stat up to 9 should trigger and raise a random stat plus 2. So, you start off with plus 2 random stat once again after using experimental stored power. Now, what this also does is that every single time you attack the opponent, it will guarantee yourself a critical hit. No need to raise your critical hit rate. Guaranteed critical hit attack, critical hit with experimental stored power. And then the higher your stats are raised, the stronger your experimental stored power will be. So you want to keep raising those stats up, But normally, just by using, again, earlier, if my computations were correct, just by using one twin beam, your stats will go up maximum of plus 12 as of the current moment. And then, yeah, that's use experimental stored power, use twin beam again, use experimental stored power, use twin beam again. And that's how you do it. But remember, your Lumberry will run out. And if you don't want to run out of Lumberry, use his sync move and then restore your Lumberries and then do the cycle over and over again. You have a trainer move, you can raise your stats by double just by using it. So if you raise your special attack plus 2 and your special defense plus 2, you prefer not to use a Lumberry for your thing. You just use your trainer move. You get to raise your stats by double whatever you have right now. And you give yourself gradual healing. And you also give yourself a super effective up next effect. So that if the opponent is weak to psychic type attacks, your sync move or your attack is gonna hit stronger. And that is his base kit, guys. So again, lots of stored power multipliers, meaning rising tide. The higher your stats are, the stronger your sync move or your attack, your experimental stored power is gonna be. And quite gimmicky, just like Greedent, but probably easier. Not that hard to use for this sync pair. Anyway, guys, this is his grid. Thank you to STDK12 for this tool. 1 out of 5, well, basically nothing except you got Unflappable. 2 out of 5, you got some Natural Remedy, B stored power, experimental stored power, move gauge refresh over here. Twin Beam, super duper effective 9. So if the opponent is weak to psychic type attacks, your Twin Beam is almost gonna double in damage. You have Quick Cure over here, Trainer Move, Precision 1 to raise your accuracy when you use your Trainer Move. Grass Guard, super duper effective 3 if the opponent is weak to psychic type attacks. This can add up to this super duper effective 9, super duper effective 3. On the run 1, if you're low on health, you raise your evasive stat plus 1. But, you know, the moment you use stored power anyway, your experimental stored power, that evasiveness buff is gonna go away. And then special attack plus 10. 3 out of 5, you got some multipliers. You got Slack, Rising Tide. And that is his only sync move multiplier in his grid, guys. So, Rising Tide, the higher your stats are, the stronger the damage. This is exactly the same as his built-in multiplier. So 2 Rising Tides, and we were saying Rising Tide is one of the best multipliers in the game. 2 Rising Tides combined, very, very strong sync move damage. Stacking Strike, every single time you hit the opponent, you get to raise your critical hit rate plus 1. Why do you want to raise critical hit rate? Yes, your experimental stored power will be guaranteed a crit, but your sync move is not guaranteed a crit. So by raising your critical hit rate, this will be helpful. Natural Remedy you got here. Vigilance to protect you from critical hits. Unfortunate Strike 9. Every single time you hit an opponent, you get to reduce 1 random stat. And if you use Twin Beam, you get to lower the opponent 2 random stats. You got Quick Cure. Trainer Sync Redemption is to restore 1 MP of There You Have It. I'm not sure if Lumberry is gonna restore an MP, but There You Have It will restore 1 MP for double buff, for the super effective up next effect, for the gradual healing effect. But this only triggers the first time you use your sync move. Got Adrenaline 1 to reduce your sync move countdown. You got Grass Guard, sync move power up. Sync Damage Guard, so that you will get a Damage Guard next effect, protect you from the opponent's attacks or half the sync move damage of the opponent. And a fun tile, Twin Beam Strike Flinch 1. Every single time you use Twin Beam, you have a 20 plus 20% chance of flinching the opponent you target. Nice. Quite nice. 4 out of 5, you got trainer move, brain gain 9. When you use your, there you have it, trainer move, you also give yourself super, or rather special moves up next effect. Soften up 1, as long as you have raised your critical hit rate, you're guaranteed a critical hit with your sync move as long as you have raised your critical hit rate. And 5 out of 5, you got strike special defense down 9. Whenever you hit an opponent, you get to lower the opponent's special defense down -1. And by using Twin Beam, you get to lower the opponent's special defense down -2. Making your Twin Beam, making your experimental stored power, making your sync move stronger because of the lowered special defenses of the opponent. And last but not the least, you have sync moves 7 stats up 1. Once you have used your sync move, and every single time you use your sync move, you get to raise your attack, defense, special defense, speed, accuracy, evasiveness +1. 7 stat ranks up. You also restore 1 MP or 3 MP for your Lumberry so that you can use Twin Beam over again to raise your stats more and more and more than use experimental stored power to just dish out gigantic damage on the opponent. Now, I got some Singrid options for you. This is a 3 out of 5 DPS build with Twin Beam super duper effective 9, with super duper effective 3, and we got a stacking strike 9 over here so that our Twin Beam will land critical hits. So this is a 3 out of 5 DPS grid for Twin Beam, and I have another grid over here. This is a sync nuke build. I got all, if not, I think I got all of the special attack tiles over here. We got 2 sync move tiles. I want to use Twin Beam to flinch the opponent, and then I got a Rising Tide and special attack stat +10, special attack stat +10. So built-in Rising Tide plus another Rising Tide over here, plus 6-star EX, 1.5 times multiplier. So before anything else, I want to check the kit. So lucky skill for this one is pinpoint entry 2 to raise your accuracy. Why do you want to raise your accuracy? Because I honestly do not know. Your accuracy for Twin Beam is 100. Your experimental stored power will never miss. Will never miss. So why do you want, why is his lucky skill, default lucky skill, pinpoint entry 2? What a joke. What a joke. Anyway, let's just give critical strike 2 over here. Check the damage. He can give himself super effective up next. The opponent is weak to psychic. We have no circles active. And what else? Well, our stats are maxed over here. We calculate the damage, 6-star EX. And the damage for Twin Beam is 571,320. But take a look at that experimental stored power. 7,918,495. That is quite strong, guys. Quite strong. EX roll and nothing, because his EX roll is support. It does not raise your special attack or attack stats. So basically nothing different with the EX roll. Except for your second sync move, it's going to be stronger. And in terms of, we got another kit, which is, where is it? Oh, this one is the DPS build. This one is the nuke build. So critical strike 2 damage. Weak to psychic, super effective up next effect. No psychic terrain. 6-star EX roll either with or without, no problem. The sync move is gonna be 11 million. 11 million versus 4 million. That's quite far. And the experimental stored power still very strong at 6,313,086. Very, very strong sync pair. But we have another kit. And by the way, guys, I already lowered the opponent's special defense to -6 here. So take note of that. And we have a 5 out of 5 kit just because we could have a 5 out of 5 kit. We got Sync Move, 7 stats up 1. We got Strike, Special Defense down 9. In fact, the 5 out of 5 grid is actually quite good. Strike, Special Defense down 9, plus Sync Move, 7 stats up 1 is good. But I sure hope that instead of Sync Move 7 stats up 1, I wish it was Impervious instead. You know, so there will be a nice benefit of getting him maxed out. And that means you do not even have to bother with Twin Beam as long as you have raised your stats. It stays there, it does not lower, and you can just keep using experimental stored power, experimental stored power, experimental stored power. But that did not happen. So we got Stacking Strike 9 to raise our critical hit rate. We got this to lower the opponent's special defense. We got Rising Tide. Take note, I did not get this tile because there's not enough energy. I have -6 energy already with this one. So I'd have to unlock the sync grid a little bit. And if I got this, I have -11, which is definitely not enough. So those are some sync grid options for you. So very, very strong sync pair. Good sides, very strong. Can flinch the opponent. Not a lot of psychic types can make the opponent flinch. Yes, there is, was it Zen Headbutt or something like that? Zen Headbutt has a little chance of making the opponent flinch. But this one, double chances. And then stored power, experimental stored power is just strong. Your Sync Move, double Rising Tide is really strong. In fact, this could be one, if not the strongest, probably not the strongest, but one of the strongest psychic type nukers out there. But if you have Signasuit Steven, if you have Signasuit Luzamine, if you have other psychic types that you have buffed them in the psychic type high score event, and I'm still bitter about the psychic type high score event because I was at rank 110. It was 10 ranks to go. I'm pretty bitter about that. But anyway, if you do not need more psychic types, you can completely skip this one. But this is a Paldea Sync pair. This is quite strong. And this is just nice. Nice to have. Nice to have. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this one. Just a lot of multipliers. A lot of things. But gimmicky, we'll have to see if one Twin Beam will raise 8 stats or will just raise 4 stats. Or rather, will raise 12 stats or just will raise 8 stats. Rather, 6 stats. 6 stats. Because 2 special attack, 2 special defense, and 2 random stat. Or will it double to 12? We'll have to see about that. But until that time, that is the end of this video, and I hope you guys appreciate it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button for me and subscribe and comment if you're scouting for Jacq. And if you want to push the support a bit further, I'm taking further studies as a teacher. If you want to help me out with my mentorship, the link is coffee.com/SPLgum, and I would be eternally grateful. Or you can join the members of my channel by clicking on the join button down below. And a huge shout out to my purple 3-year supporters. Thank you guys so much. My 2-year red supporters, my yellow 1-year supporter, and my other members. Thank you guys so very much for your support. Thank you. And yeah, that's all I could say. And I will be shipping your stuff out probably after Holy Week. Some of you, I kind of owe stuff. SBL Gum Challenge winner, I haven't shipped your item yet. Please be patient with me. Holy Week, everything closed. And work is just torture. Not really torture in terms of stress, but scheduling is just difficult. Very difficult. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. I will see you. I'm not sure if I could scout live. I set a schedule for that, but hopefully I could scout live for you guys. Until then, see you in the next video. Rawr.